Yay, we are live. Now before we do anything, let's go to the editing and we shall add the playlist, which is the study block. There we go. Now we have our tea. Let's read what it says. It says, today is the day to go green, smoothly supreme, elegant, fair, good for the planet and nature's way of giving back to you. Yeah, so it's supreme, matcha, green. I don't know what matcha means. But we have my hot water. What is matcha? Okay, so it's wild jade, green tea, and then matcha. I'm gonna have to check that out. Ooh, and it just so happens this should be ready by the time that I have to start studying. So let's put on the timer for 15 minutes because it has to steep for 15 minutes. 15 minutes. There we go. 15. And while we're here, we'll look up matcha. It's probably just a plant. What is matcha? Okay, it looks like a plant. It's not giving me a definition. What does matcha mean? There we go. Matcha is a Tamil word for brother-in-law. Okay. So I guess it means brother-in-law. So this tea is my brother-in-law. Now that I got married, I do have brothers-in-law because there's multiple of them. And now, very happy. We have the Cuberdons. I'm really, really happy about this. Oh, but first, step 2, share on Twitter. Ay, ay, ay. My head's sort of all over the place right now. To be perfectly honest, I did particularly want to have another study session. I was thinking of skipping it. I feel like I need a break. However, if I don't do the second study session, I can't have my tea and I can't have my Cuberdon. So I guess we're gonna have to study. And this is why bribes, treats, little rewards really matter. It might seem stupid, but I can't express how much I really don't want to study right now, but the fact that I get a little reward, I'm going to study. Okay, so these green ones are really calling to me today because the packet is green. And so we have the choice of apple or pear. And let's see. There isn't like a really big difference here. So this is the pear, and this is the apple. And I think we'll go with the darker green. We'll do apple. My lovely Cuberdons. We're gonna wait a bit for this. We'll have to see. I'm not sure how delicious this will be. I'm not a big apple fan. Let's drink some water. We're working on business office next, which I'm way ahead. I should find out if anybody took notes for the foot and endnotes. But she did. What did she do? She records her classes. So thank you. She is amazing. Business office skills. And so the last lesson, hopefully they're not that long. Oh, another nice thing is that she doesn't just record them, she properly puts what they are. Okay, so yeah, so the endnotes is 6 minutes long. The bibliography is 13. The tabs, oh, that must be tables, is 20 minutes long, and then there's another one that's 16 minutes long. So Okay, male merging concepts. Oh, there's actually 3 of them. So that's 1, 2. That's the first thing, and they're all, this one's 30, this one's 24, and this one's 21. And then field codes. Oh, the male king. Field codes, there's 3 of them. The first one is 15. Second one is, how long is this? 7. Cool. And then the last one is 27. And unfortunately, I remember watching these in class and thinking, like I don't know how to do those. And I was thinking specifically I was going to have to rewatch these. So let's figure out. We have to do some math. I don't feel like doing math right now. But okay, so this 60. Okay, so there's 5. So that's 1. Okay, so this one is like an hour. This is an hour, so that's 2. The male merging stuff is an hour. And then the field notes is also an hour. So that's like 4 days. Let's see. Where would that put me in this study? 1, 2, 3. That would put me at the 25th, where I'd be done with everything with office. And then I'd be revising on the 26th for office. So that's actually pretty good. So maybe that's what we'll do today, is that we'll just watch some old videos from office about field codes. We can take some better notes. Hopefully seeing it a second time will help. While we're here, we can also look at law to see what kind of notes I have for that. Because I don't. Okay, we can get rid of all the German stuff. International law, and then we just have the intro. So what we can do is we can already download, because I did finish. I think that means it's finished. So let's go to number 2. Okay, so we have, I'm guessing these are the slides. Then we have cases and exercises. We have answers, and then test knowledge. Okay, so let's. Yeah, there doesn't seem to be that much here. So let's download this. This way we'll save time by not having to do it later. Business office. This is to preliminary contracting. There we go. And then we'll download the cases. I like when they're in PDF because then I can just directly save it to the folder that I want it. So this is the answer. And this is the answer, which is 2 pages long. And then we have testing knowledge. I don't remember going through half this stuff in his class, but in all honesty, his class is a bit dry. He doesn't have a very engaging voice, but he is very interactive and all that. He himself is engaging, but he sort of has that monotone where he sort of talks like this the whole time, and it's not that engaging. And he sounds bored himself. Okay, so with 5 minutes left, I'm gonna try this apple. Please let it be delicious. I need to pick me up. Oh, holy crap. This is delicious. Wow. This tastes like a proper apple. Maybe this can count as fruit intake. Holy crap. You know, so far with the exception of the violet one, which tastes like grandma, and isn't necessarily bad, it's not a nice flavor in my opinion. These are delicious. Oh my goodness, those are really good. Oh, it has this really wonderful lingering apple taste on my tongue now. I'm so happy now. It's amazing how candy can make the world better. Okay, so evolution, no. We want learning materials. We want word advance. We want field codes. And we want to go back to study materials. Oh, no, I did. We want advanced word. Advanced word. We'll call it 0 2. And this is going to be the folder field codes, right? Yes. Field codes, which is essentially somewhat like coding in the Word document. So let's save this in my nifty new folder that I created. Advanced Word, field codes, awesome. We'll download these, awesome. I actually don't want to, I keep exiting out of Toledo. I'm going to put these in the folder. Let's extract. Let's extract. Eight. There we go. We are ready, and okay. Surprise. Oh, it's 29 seconds. So let's start the study session. We are going to be working on business office skills, advanced word, field codes. We're probably going to watch some videos, but first we're going to read this section to see what I remember. Okay, in this chapter you will learn to, oh, my goodness, I have such a small memory. I completely forgot that that was going to go off, and I think I even said something. Okay, start the timer. Let's take out my tea. Okay, it just smells like green tea. Like I'm not getting any special anything off of this. It just smells like green tea. Okay, so in this chapter, you will learn to insert, display, remove, edit, and lock fields. Use the switch option of fields and use fields in practical uses. Okay, you don't know it, but you have used field codes or fields before. Fields are codes in your document who show a veritable result, execute an action, or indicate a certain location. Consider the numbering of pages in your document. The field page is used for that, showing a different page number on every page. There are several fields available in Word. In this chapter, you will learn what fields are and how you can use them. In some used cases, we will use them in the following chapters as well. Okay, sort of have a headache, so, let's start down here. Adding, displaying, and removing fields. So, in a lot of cases, fields are added without you knowing. Using insert page numbers uses the field page. When you're adding a table of content, the field TOC is used. When you type a URL or web address, the field hyperlink is responsible for making the connection to that website. In all other cases, you can add fields to your document using insert, text, quick parts, field. So let's open up a Word document. Let's just have a new one. File, new, blank page. I'll get rid of this one. So it was insert. Where was I supposed to go next? Insert, text, quick parts. Insert. I don't see text. Okay, text, quick parts, and fields. Okay, so that comes up cool. So maybe I should have that. Uh-oh, I'm missing my one little card. Where did it go? That's not cool. Oh, there it is. Because I feel like I should definitely know this. So it's insert for field codes. What was it? It was insert text quick parts. And fields. Cool. So that comes up. A window opens where you can choose from numerous fields divided in 9 categories. Depending on the chosen field, you get matching field properties and or options. On the bottom left, you can see an explanation of the purpose of the field. Okay, let's try that out. So formula, address books. Oh, okay, cool. A third possibility for using fields is typing them yourself. If you know the field for adding page numbers, you can just type page in between accolades. And fields are always placed in between accolades. Pay attention. They are not normal accolades you type in using your keyboard. Use Control F9 to add an empty pair. Okay, so Control F9. Control F9, and then in between those special accolades, you can type the name of the field. Okay, displaying fields and field content. Every field is linked to a result or a content. The field page inserted on page 5 then gives you the value 5 as a result. Using Alt plus F9, you switch between the fields in your document and the results of your fields. So this switches. This is really bitter. You can achieve the same by using File Options, Advance, and Show Document Content. So, File, Options, Advance, Show Document Content. It got cold. Here you can have the fields and their results marked so you see a clear distinction with the regular text. This indication is not printed. Unwanted fields can be removed as followed. Make sure the field codes are visible. Use Alt F9. Select one of the field codes to select one of the accolades to select the whole field. Remove the field by clicking Delete or Backspace. So select and delete. Delete, and then you can unlock a select field by using Control-Shift F9. The field disappears, but the result of the field remains in your document as a regular text. So Okay, try this. Type in an empty Word document the text working with fields. Save the document using the name fields. Using a new paragraph in a field name, insert. Okay, so let's just try this for not. So new document, cancel, go away. Working with fields. Save this PC. Business. Oh, this is documents. That's not what I want. I want study material. So, desktop, study material, business, advanced Word, field codes. Working with fields. I don't think I saved it in the right place. Okay. Okay, so a new paragraph. We want to go to insert. Search, quick parts, fields, and we want quick. Okay, we want to put file name. Okay. Title case. Cool. Okay, so new paragraph and pretty much same thing. Field parts, field, and this one is number. Characters. We'll do Roman numerals. Okay, that was weird. Okay, but didn't do anything. Yeah, I think it might be better if I just watch, because my thingy's not working. So let's go watching stuff about field codes. Field codes. It's only 15 minutes, so watch now.
So in this new section, we will see three chapters. First one, field codes, then mail merge, and then foot and end notes, and still a bit of explaining about pictures as well. So the first chapter is about field codes. Field codes, why am I showing you this? Well, we will meet this in the mail merge section. So basically, if I go to a certain Word document, so I'm going to download the exercise file, and I am opening the document Retirement Home. It's a document about financial arrangements when you go to a retirement home. So I'm going to add in a header, I'm going to add a page number. So I'm going to arrange here everything myself, and I'm going to my right corner, and I'm going to add a page number. So I see this here, top of page, plain number 3. Okay. Well, basically, when I added this, I also have a field code which is behind it. So this is the key Alt F9 that I'm using. Because in a Word document, there are a lot of things shown. You think it is text, but basically behind it, there's a field code. And there are a lot of things that use a field code that you basically don't know that it's a field code that's behind it. So for example, if I if I switch again, Alt F9, and I want to add here page 1 of, and then I want the total number of pages. I think we've done that before when we were talking about page numbers. You see here in the section header and footer, I can add quick parts. And quick parts, here you see field. And if I have here a lot of fields, and if I add those things to my document, well, basically, you see text, but behind it, there's a lot of code with those accolades. So for example, if I want to add the number of pages in my document, there is a field, num pages, that I can use for that. I'm going to quickly go here. TOC, table of content. We've seen that. Well, we will add in a minute a table of content. And basically, you will see that a table of content is also completely built up of field codes. So first of all, let's finish this one. So I want the number of pages indicated here. So I have page 1 of 3, 2 of 3, 3 of 3. And of course, I want, if I select my document and I click on extract and I add an extra page, it is changed automatically. So if you need to use this during an exam, don't type it in manually, because this is what I'll do if or to check if you've added your page numbers correctly. I'll add a page break. It will move to the next page. And of course, if it still says here, page 3 of 3, then I know you've done it manually and you don't get your score. Okay, so if I take a look now here in my header, I press Alt F9 again, and you see what happens. I have here for page, I have the field code page, and this is an extra parameter which is added, \* merge format, and the number of pages is also a field code indicated here. Of course, this doesn't only work for your header or your footer, because we've seen in the ribbon that I have the quick parts for my header. But if I take a look, if I'm in my document and I go to Insert, and I take a look at the ribbon here, I also see that I have the quick parts. I have the same menu, but in a different setting. The previous one was in the header and footer. This one is in my regular text. Okay, I'm going to add the field author. And I see here that the author is Danny. If I press Alt F9, field code that I'm using is author. Well, if I take a look at the options of my document, I hope, and where are they again? If I go to info, you know that you have a lot of properties here, and you see author is Danny. So if I would like to add my own name now, and if I say I'm going to remove this person, so I've made myself author now. If I go back, you see it's still on the field code, but if I press Alt F9, and now of course I have to refresh my field code because it's still reading the previous one, then normally I should click F9. Why do I say normally? Well, I'm working on a laptop and my keys, my F9 keys have been assigned a different option. So basically what I'm going to do, I'm going to reinsert.
Okay, so let's try that. No. So we're going to do page. And then we'll insert the field. What was it? Page number? Number of pages. 1 of 3. 2. Okay, cool. Close. And then here we'll do the insert. Okay, now I'm thinking that I'm really stupid, or maybe I was just tired when I was watching it the first time. And then, because it's not, okay, I want to know who the heck Danny is. Okay, add a new author. Kathryn. And then we will remove you because who gives a crap about you? Wait, how do I delete you? Remove person. Okay, and then we go back and then we push F9. Okay, how to refresh field codes. Refresh field codes on laptop. Because maybe I just okay, so you select this and click F9. Okay, there we go. I'm smart. Okay. I am drinking my tea. It's not a very good tea though, it's bitter. Okay, back to this.
The quick part, author. So normally you should be able to refresh it if you're working on a normal document. So you see, author is now my name indicated there. And then the last thing before you can test that yourself, I'm going to add the quick part date. If I go to date, you see here, if I add a field code, that I also have the possibility to include some formatting. So I can choose a different date format that I can use. The right side, I think, on your computer will be a little bit different because it's depending on the languages that you are using. I'm using Japanese as language on my computer as well, so I have a lot of extra options here. So if I click on OK, and where is my date? Let's put my cursor first. So I'm going to add the date. I'm going to set it to a certain formatting. And why isn't it showing? Let's check if the field code was added. The field code was added correctly. I don't know why it's not showing it at the moment. Let's go back. Matcha, where is my date?
Oh, my date showed up.
So check that for yourself if the date appears or not, and then let me know. Because I wanted to show you something as well by using that date, but I will show it on my name now. So if I tap Alt F9, I see the author field. Now let's say, and for the date, that's more logical. If you add a date to your document, every time you have certain dates. Every time your document opens, if it is the today date, well, that field will change. If I open it today, it will be December 2nd. But if I open that document tomorrow, it will indicate December 3rd. So, for example, in certain cases, for example, if you want to add the print date of a document, you can insert a field, but then you want to fix it. You want to make sure that it is not using the system date or the system info on your computer. So what can I do? Well, if I say, for example, for author, it goes to the properties of my document. You saw that if I change the properties of my document, then this is changed as well. Well, if I want to unlock it, so I'm going back to Alt F9. If I select it and I say Control Shift F9, apparently nothing happens. But if I go back to Alt F9, you see that my name isn't indicated using the field codes.
Yeah, okay.
Why not? Well, because I've uncoupled it. So let's say, for example, if I want to add, that's the last part of my explanation. If I want to add field codes myself manually, if I'm very familiar with working with field codes, then I can type in the moment that I'm in this section. If I use this and I start to type in field codes, that won't work. I switch Alt F9 to the code window. And then I want to add field codes myself manually. If you take a look at the accolades, I'm going to use my keyboard to type in some accolades. I hope you see these are the one that we use in field.
Okay. I'm going to take a little potty break because I have to go pee. I forgot that I started laundry this morning. So that's now in the dryer, so yay.
So basically, if I want to add accolades, I have to press Ctrl F9. And then you see I have the field code accolades. So if I type in now, for example, page, page is a field code, I know that. And if I go back, but you know, pages apparently aren't showing either. So let's say, for example, I'm going to take a look at a field code, which I know can be used. Let's say, for example, file name. Let's try this one. If I use a field code and I want to know what exactly I have to type in, you see this is the field code, file name. So I'm going to try and type that in manually. Let's say file name. There is something wrong with my documents. Because normally it should show. I'm going to check in a minute while you are making the exercises where it went wrong. But first of all, I'm going here to the, before we take a break, I'm going to the bottom of my page. Important for you guys to know, there are a lot of combinations with the F9. The Alt F9 is the switch between the normal view and the field code view. Control F9 is when you want to add accolades and to enter field codes yourself. And there's another one that I was using, Control plus Shift plus F9. That is for unlocking field codes. So if you add a field code and you don't want it to refer to system settings or date or time settings, but you really just want it as text, then you can unlock the field code by using Control Shift F9. Okay, so it's 12:08. I would suggest that we resume at 12:15. So take a break, get off your chair, move around, get a drink or something, but don't stay behind your computer. When we return, I'll let you make some exercises, and in the meantime, I'm going to take a look at why he isn't showing certain.
You know, I'm thinking that I might have confused field codes with mail merge. Okay, this is 7 minutes, so we'll watch this one too.
But first, I'm going to show you, or we will take a look at some use cases, interesting cases where you can work with your field codes. The problem that occurred in the previous section that field codes aren't showing, I haven't figured that out yet. If I try to look it up, I'm going to share my screen first. It should be okay. It should show the content or the value of my field code. So I tried searching that on Google, field codes in Word not showing. These options are available. So maybe if I can give you a suggestion. For the next 5 minutes, I will let you practice with adding field codes. switching, so using Alt F9, Control F9, Control Shift 9, and then I would like to hear from you whether those quick parts are they working in the header or in the text. So test that out as well. And in the meantime, I'm going to continue to search around. So I'm giving you time until 12.
Okay, that was fun. So field codes 3. I don't have the full time to watch the whole thing, but let's see for field codes. Because what's the last part? We'll start the last part. We have 9 minutes. I can get through half of it. Because maybe it's just exercises.
Okay, in the meantime, I've been doing some testing and apparently I closed my document. I used the new one and apparently all my problems are solved right now. So maybe there was a problem with my document at the first time I was explaining everything. So maybe a quick recap of the things. So you see here I've added 3 field codes. I've completed 2. So you can also see, and the first time I explained this, I didn't see that. So that should have been an indication that there was something wrong with the first document. But now my Word document is behaving correctly. You can also see that it is a field code because if I click on it, I see this appearing and I can update my document or I can update that field code if necessary, if it needs an update. So you see what I inserted here. I want to review or use this to work on the first use case. So there are a few use cases in the course materials, and the first one is using information of your document in your text. So I don't know if you've already had that the teacher said, okay, you have to write an assignment, and that assignment needs to be, let's say, 4 pages and 1,500 characters. So if, or 1,500 words, sorry. So if you need to use that in your assignment, and you can also already show that or place that information in your document. So what I've done here, a number of words, I'm going to remove that. You see if I select it, you see it is a field code. So if I go to quick parts, field code, I have here a field code, number of characters, number of pages, and number of words. So I'm going to choose number of words, and then that is a property that is already present in your Word document, and you can use that. The authors, I've added them, so you know, let's say, for example, I go to my document, I see here I have 2 authors. I'm going to remove this one. Okay, I'm going back to my document, and you see it's already updated itself. So this is the normal behavior. What we were experiencing earlier wasn't quite normal. It should update itself. And then I also want to have a date added. The date, well, if I take a look at the fields that are present, I have a lot of dates that I can extract. You see, I have here the date that will be the date of today. So if, for example, I add this one, it shows, but of course, and if I want to make a PDF file of this document, then it will show December 2nd. You see here, I have an update option because if I'm going to remove this one again, I want to show you something. If you add just the date. You can ask or you can indicate if this date needs to be updated or not. You see, you can't do that here. That's a property that you can add in your field code. But you see here in the description that it is today's date. So if I would hand in this document to my teacher as a Word document, date printed, definition isn't quite right yet, then if the teacher opens the document, it will automatically be or show the date of today. So if he opens it tomorrow, it will indicate December 3rd. Of course, if you don't want that, we've seen that what you can do, you can unlock your field code by using Control-Shift F9. And then if I use Alt F9, you see here that here are field codes showing, here not. So this date, December 2nd, will remain there. Okay, what other dates are there in the document? Well, my title says date printed. So apparently this is a date which is also available. You see I have here another date, create date. That is the date when the document was created. I have the date of today, and I also have the print date. Of course, if I would select this is my print date. What does that tell me? This document has never been printed before. So, Control P. I'm not going to print it to my home printer, but let's say I'm going to print it as a PDF file. Let's see if my Word document uses a print assignment to a PDF file as a valid print assignment. And apparently, okay, I'm going to put that quickly on my desktop. Now let's take a look. If I add my field now, okay, and if I go to print date right now, if I add it, it says, okay, this document has been printed December 2nd, 12 o'clock 36. So that's okay. So you have a lot of things that you can use. The second option, and I was talking earlier when we were talking about headers and footers, I said you can indicate the title of a certain chapter. You can add that to your heading. Well, we will do that. I'll remove the codes that are here. Let's take a look first, and that's the second use case. My title has been formatted in heading 1. So if I go back to my header, I'm going to add the quick part style ref. So if we take a look at what style ref does, let's see if I click here. Okay, it says inserts the text from a like-styled paragraph. So I need to insert some styling. And you see what I'm going to use is heading 1. So if I click here now on OK, well, you see that in the document, it shows what's here indicated in heading 1. Okay, if I take a look at a certain title here, this one with the maintenance obligation, you see it's in heading 2. What I want to try and simulate now is, okay, if I change this style to heading 1, will it appear in my header? What do you see? It does. So if you have a document and you have different headings you are using, you can, if you think of that when you organize your document, and for example, each heading 1 starts on a new page, well, then you can always indicate the title of your heading 1 in your header.
3, 9, 50. You know, I'm thinking that I might have confused field notes or field codes with mail merge, because this is not as difficult as I remember it being. Okie dokie, so let's go check on the children really quick, make sure that they're still breathing and good. Okay, I need to check some stuff really quick. Okay. So, my head is not in the game right now, but what we're going to do is we will indicate that we did office, we did German, now we have law. Let's save this. Let us, we can get rid of that, we can get rid of this, we can get rid of this, and we can go to law, which I already downloaded because I'm on top of stuff. But okay, there's nothing there. Actually, I keep exiting out of Toledo and I don't need to do that. I'm gonna check my mail to see if anybody answered me. No. What's interesting is that the one teacher who I almost never talked to, got back to me right away, so that's cool. And then the one teacher who I talk to almost every day hasn't gotten back to me. So I was getting really annoyed before, but now I'm like really worried. I hope that they're okay. Because I feel like it's really unlike them not to message back. I hope they're not sick. So let's put this back. We will get law. Need to get the flashcards out. I feel this tea was not good. I think I'm gonna add some honey to it, so I'll be back because it really isn't that drinkable. Maybe I'll make new tea. Alrighty, I changed my mind. We made new tea. It's licorice mint. It's delicious. Almost fell off the chair. Okay, we're gonna put this to the side. Give that time to. I took all my break. Okay, let's start this. We're gonna do 50 minutes on the clock. And here we go. Chapter 2 of law. Where am I going? Nope. We need. Okay, so we're going to international commercial law and we're doing preliminary contracting. So I'm sure that's going to be so much fun. So let's try this out. Preliminary contracting. Overview. 4 ways of doing business abroad. 2, reaching an agreement. 3, legal aspects of contract negotiation. 4, breaking off contract negotiations. So, the 4 ways of doing business abroad: exporting goods to another country, is selling directly to the importing countries, setting up and okay. I am just not feeling this right now. Let's get out my flashcards. Let's put this to the side. You have good tea. You only get the tea because you are doing so good with studying. Okay. So step 2 is setting up your own company in the imported country, a subsidiary, using an agent in the imported country, an intermediary, or 3, using a distributor in the imported country, an intermediary. I think I need to write all that down. So, 4 ways of doing business abroad. Number 1 is going to be selling directly in the imported country. Number 2, setting up own company in the importing country. And this is called a subsidiary. Subsidiary. Number 3, using an agent. agent in importing country. This is called an intermediary. And number 4, using a distributor. The importing country, and this is also called an intermediary. Start the timer. Yes. Okay. And then there's an important thing that says contracting directly or indirectly. Okay. Number 2, reaching an agreement. Example, on March 5th, 2018, Smet BV, a Dutch company, enters into negotiations with a German company, Derdrich GmbH. Negotiations are over sale, delivery, and installation of a computer network to Smets. Okay. On April 1st, 2018, Derek offers Smets such a computer network at a price of 40,000 euros, but Smets does not accept. In the course of several meetings after April 1st, it turns out that Smets' requirements are quite detailed. Derek must invest more time and money than usual in making a new offer to Smets. The latter remains hesitant and demands that Dumbrek makes a more detailed offer than the one put forth by Derek on April 1st. In the letter of intent, both parties agrees that Derek should make a final proposition to Smets before January 1st, 2019. However, on December 5th, 2018, Smets informs Derek that the deal is off as far as it is concerned. Okay. So reaching an agreement is offer plus acceptance equals agreement. Okay, I'll write that down. Oh, it's raining. What is an agreement? It's an offer plus acceptance. Okay, so stages of negotiation equals preliminary stage, stage prior to the agreement. So the stages of making up an agreement. Number 1, A draws up an offer and sends it to B. 2, the offered is delivered to B. 3, B takes time to think things over. 4, B comes to decisions and sends his acceptance to A. And 5, B's acceptance reaches A, and that equals the agreement becomes final. Okay, so then there's like 1, potential binding offer is a precise proposal that includes all elements essential to the agreement, so object price, number of objects, a clear will to conclude a contract, subjective elements, and otherwise an invitation to enter into negotiations, proposals, gentlemen's agreements with no legal consequences. And then 2, offer has to be delivered. Offered is binding for the offerer for a reasonable period of time when it has reached the parties to the other party, which is the offeree. Withdrawing an offer is possible until that reception, and other often periods of the validity. That word stipulates in an offer. 3, consider the offer. 4, acceptance. And 5, agreement becomes final. So offer doesn't okay, so an offer is binding, but a proposal and invitation are not binding. So legal aspects of negotiation. Freedom to negotiate. Parties are not legally bound unless the binding offer plus acceptance. Offers made under a reservation, such as price is not binding, name of document versus content, proposal, or offer. 2, legally binding agreements during negotiation equals breach of contract, name of the document versus content, LOI, GA, or NDA, or final agreements. Rules of good faith equals tort, and tort discretion of the court. I don't remember what tort was. Okay, legal aspects of negotiation. So letter of intent, which is LOI, sometimes combined with non-disclosure agreements before the final agreement, title versus content. Rules of good faith, widely accepted in case law, obligation to take the other party's interests into consideration, accurate information, no misleading, and unfair withdrawals from negotiations. So breaking off negotiations, breach of contract, contractual liabilities. Parties have an agreement on the essential elements, price and object. Performance of the contract or claim for contractual damages, only reasonable foreseeable losses. Breaking off negotiation, torts. Okay, no agreement on price or object. Party is free to negotiate and is liable for failure to reach an agreement. However, if a party has broken off negotiation contracts to good faith, he might be liable for losses and causes the other party based on tort. Claims for damages because of tort and unforeseeable loss. General aim of an award of damages in tort is to put the injured party in the same position as he would have been if the tort had not occurred. Damages in tort aim to restore the claimant to his pre-incident position. Tort as something in Latin. A tort is a wrongful act between two private individuals. I'm going to make sure that I have a tort, because I'm pretty sure formal law, material law, contract. What is tort? Tort is an act or behavior or something that's considered a civil wrong compared to the reasonable person standard that causes harm. Okay, so tort is a wrongful act between two party individuals, reasonable party tests. A wrongful action causes damage. Okay. When does one commit tort when breaking off negotiation? Either party's action is wrongful when it can be regarded as conflicting with the rules of good faith that govern the preliminary stages. So you enter into a negotiation contract to good faith. For a party to enter into or continue negotiations with no real interest of reaching an agreement with the other parties, providing false information. So continuing to negotiate contrary to good faith, continues negotiation after one has already decided not to conclude the agreement, or breaking off negotiations contrary to good faith. The party breaking off the negotiation failed to take the other party's interest into consideration. Okay. What to claim? Possible compensations for the aggrieved party is to recover expenses incurred during the negotiations, travel expense, cost of business offers, calculations, experts, ... compensation for the loss of opportunity to conclude around contract with a third party, negative interest. Very rare, compensation for the loss of profit that would have been gained if the original contract had been concluded, positive interest. Also rare, forcing the other party to continue negotiation, not possible. Oops. Not possible, forcing the other party to conclude the agreement. Arrangements in, letter of intent. No rights or obligations can be derived from the negotiations by either party. No compensation for damages or loss of profit is possible, and either party will bear its own costs regardless of the outcome of negotiations. Illustration 1. A intends to enter the trade as a competitor of B. He enters into negotiations with B, claiming to be interested in becoming B's sale manager. B pays A's travel expense and the cost of a short training program for A, which A had wished to join before signing the contract. When A has got the information about B's sale methods, he breaks off the negotiation and starts his own business. A is reliable to B for the costs B incurred in paying A's travel and tuition. Situation 2. A did intend to become B's sale manager. This decision to become B's competitor was made after his travel, but before he joined the training program. He then made his first preparations to start by himself, but continued the negotiation and joined the program in order to learn more about the trade and B's business instead of breaking off the negotiation. A is liable to B for the cost incurred by B after A made his decision. And then illustration 3. B offered to write a software program for A's production. During the negotiation, B has considered considerable expenses in supplying A with drafts, calculation, and other documents. Shortly before the conclusion of the contract is expected to take place, A invites a third party who can use the information supplied by B to make a lower bid for the program. A then breaks off negotiation with B and concludes a contract with C. A is liable to B for the expenses in preparing the documents. Illustration 4. A assures B that B will obtain a franchise to operate a shoe store at one of A's franchises. The conditions are that B invests 22,000 euros and acquire some experience. In order to prepare himself for the franchise, B sells his jewelry store, moves to another town, and buys a business space. The negotiations, which lasted over 2 years, finally end with A charges a substantial larger financial contribution than the one originally agreed upon, and B finds himself unable to pay this amount. Although there is no evidence that the promise originally made by A were made contrary to good faith, A's breach of these promises is contrary to good faith, and A will be held reliable to B for the losses B suffered in preparing for the franchise. Okay, so that was actually pretty easy. So let's go to the casework. What is this? Does this go with the slides? I don't know what this is. I think this just goes with the slides. Okay, we're going to work instead on the cases. Okay, so case. Kinds of gases and fluids and Mr. Van against wholesaler and seller and sales technician of welding equipment. negotiated over a takeover bid. Oh, this is an actual case. Okay. Okay, well, I'm going to say that I think I'll save the cases for later. So this is done minus casework. So I think I'll save the cases for the cramming session. So that's done. Let's go to number 3, which will be international private law. And let's download all the appropriate sections for 3. And then what is this? Okay, we'll need that. We need this. And how can I think I just want to do file save as. Where's file? Okay. Oh, okay, that works. So I'll just put that there. Okay, so this. Okay, so I guess we're starting with the case. Okay, so the overview. Actually, there is something that I want to check now that that's done. Oh, I know he gave us something for the exam prep. What was it? Must have been a PDF file. So I'm going to see. Okay, so these are just sample questions. These are the types of questions you can be expected. Okay, so explain the difference between formal and material law. Explain the difference between contract and tort. Stages of making an agreement. Okay, an EU directive. Exclusionary jurisdiction according to Brussels I regulations. Did I do that? The stage. Oh, no, that's the 4 ways of doing business abroad. Okay, then I need to go back. Because what are the stages in making an agreement? Oh, okay, so stages in making an agreement. Oh my goodness. How much time is left? Oh, still like 20 minutes, okay. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna do excellent on this. We really are. Hello, Anju. We're studying law right now, which I don't want to study. Okay. You know what? We will. Okay. A legally binding offer exists of two elements, an objective element and a subjective element. The objective element is that one of the parties pronounces a precise proposal that includes all the elements essential to the agreement so that the offer can be accepted without further discussion. All essential elements of the agreement are intended in the offer. With what these essential elements are depends on the agreement, but mostly objects and prices are the most essential elements. Okay, so an object is described, for example, a Volkswagen Golf built in 2000. A price is determined, the selling price is 4,000, and a number of objects is stated. The object of the offer is one single car. Okay, cool. Then we have the subjective element of an offer means that the party who has made the offer really has the intention to conclude an agreement, or that the receiver of the offer could reasonably believe that the offerer actually had the intention to conclude an agreement. For example, your drunk uncle yelling at a family party that he will buy your house for a certain price. That's not a binding offer because there's probably is no real intention to actually buy the house, and because he is drunk, you cannot reasonably believe that he means it, although he did mention an object and price. So when one or two elements are missing, a so-called invitation to enter into negotiations is given to the other party instead of a legal binding offer. Case law has shown that courts really investigate if these elements are present. Sometimes parties make up a document and give it the title a proposal or a non-binding offer to make sure that it's not a legally binding. If it comes to a dispute and one of the parties is referring to that document stating that the other party breached it, the other party will probably state that it's a non-binding offer according to the title. However, the content prevails over the title. The court will always have a look at the content from which it appears that it is in fact a binding offer because both elements are present. The court will ignore the title. Okay, C. The offer has to be delivered. The offer can be withdrawn until it reaches the other party. Once the offer with the above-mentioned elements reaches the other party, it is binding. An offer is binding for a reasonable period of time. What that reasonable period of time entails depends on the subject of the potential contract. In certain cases, the party receiving the offer needs more than time to investigate because it contains more elements. The reasonableness is left up to the discretion of the judge. For example, an offer dealing with perishable goods like vegetables and fruit will have a shorter period of time than a contract of sales of a house. It also depends on the professional capacity of the receiver of the offer. Business experts would be expected to come to a decision more rapidly than those with little experience. To avoid these discretions of the court, the offeror can include a provision in the offer that limits the period of validity, a specific clause in the general conditions of the offer. If the party receiving the offer fails to accept the offer within a specific period, the offer will be deemed to be revoked automatically. So the court has no discretion anymore in deciding on the reasonable period. D. Acceptance. The acceptance must fully cover the offer. If this is not the case, the receiver of the simple offer refuses the offer without further negotiations or makes a counteroffer. If the party makes a counteroffer, it's the one that becomes legally binding and the first original offer is no longer legally existing. The acceptance can be in written and explicit, the acceptance can be in writing and explicitly, but it can also be a silent consent. For example, by performance, by paying an amount as stipulated in the offer or fulfilling your part of the agreement. Agreement becomes final. So with the writing or silence acceptance, the agreement becomes final. In certain cases, however, the offer can still be revoked or changed after acceptance, e.g., when the offer was made with the reservations, prices subject to change, or prices not binding. This may be the case in the offer of a contractor who is never sure whether the price of the building materials that he has to buy from the supplier will stay the same. If an accepted offer includes a provision stating that for all decisions, broad approval is necessary, there is not yet a binding agreement between the parties. The final approval from another party, e.g., the board, is still necessary. So the unconditional finalization of the agreement depends on the approval of the board. Once the board has approved, the agreement becomes finalized. So the offer is binding under the condition that the board approves. there is an acceptance. To enter into an agreement if the board approves. But the agreement only becomes final if the board approves. If there is a dispute between the two parties, but the board has not approved yet, the claim can never be based on breach of contract. Okay, so an agreement is when parties have reached an agreement on the essential elements, price and object. Price is takeover price, payment of costs related to the takeover, paying off the current management, ... Do parties agree on this matter? Question mark. Is the buyer indeed willing to pay the price? Question mark. Are there negotiations? And then object is the takeover of the company, takeover of the employee, or takeover of the trade name and trademark. So, gentleman's agreement. I can't believe that's actually a thing. Let's make this a bit bigger so I'm not squinting as much. Okay. There's a certain type of agreement that although it is concluded like a regular agreement and follows all the above mentioned steps, it is not binding. A gentleman's agreement is an unwritten agreement or transaction backed only by the integrity of the counterparty to actually abide by its terms. Each party is in a gentleman's agreement has faith that everybody will fulfill their promises because of their sense of personal honor. It solely depends on the trustworthiness of the parties. For some time, German auto manufacturer BMW, Mercedes, and Audi had a gentleman's agreement to limit the top speed of their cars to 250 kilometers an hour. This gentleman's agreement was reached in order to reduce fatalities. That's actually cool to know. Legal aspects of negotiations. So before, legal aspects of negotiations. There we are. Before an agreement is reached, parties negotiate, often for weeks, months, or even years, over the contents of the final agreement. The stage of negotiation is referred to as preliminary stages, the stage prior to the final agreement between two parties. The principle is that there is freedom to negotiate. As long as the parties are negotiating and none of the parties has made an offer, none of them are legally bound, so this means that both parties can end negotiations when they want to. This principle guarantees a smooth trade flow. Traders have to be able to freely negotiate in order to conclude an agreement. If not, they will be more hesitant to conclude agreements with other parties. However, there are exceptions to this principle, and ending negotiations is not always without legal consequences. So principle equals freedom to negotiate, not legally binding. Exception 1, binding offer, unless offers made under a certain reservation, such as price is not binding. Exception 2, legally binding agreements during negotiation, so letter of intent, I think that was, and a non-disclosure agreement. And 3, rules of good faith, tort. Exception 1. When one of the parties makes a binding offer, the party is legally bound. One cannot change that offer or afterwards say that he is not able to fulfill that offer. For example, not being able to deliver the goods or to deliver the goods in that way. That's why you should always be aware of what you are writing. Maybe you don't want to make a legally binding offer because you are not sure about the fact that you will be able to get that amount of that particular good, but you actually just want to make a proposal. In that case, you have to make that very clear in your offer. If the court decides that both objectives and subjective elements are present, you still might be legally bound. When the other party has already accepted the offer, it is clearly a breach of contract because in that case, you already left the stage of negotiation. If, however, the other party did not accept yet and was still examining the offer, but the offer didn't respect the reasonable period of validity and went to another company with his offer, is that breach of contract or tort? Case law is not very clear about this. You know that there is a possibility to claim for compensation when this happens based on the breach of contract or on tort. Oh my goodness. We need some tea. Need tea because the other tea wasn't that good. And I forgot about my tea. So it's going to be really strong. That's okay. This tea is really good. I still am not clear what tort is. So, exception 2. Parties can conclude some kind of agreement during negotiation. This isn't the final agreement, but it is concluded with the goal to reach final agreement. Parties often sign a letter of intent. A letter of intent is a document in which parties declare that they intend to do business together, and in which they usually also make agreements about the progress of the negotiation. Parties state in this letter of intent that the actions they will take from that moment, for example, due diligence or marketing research. It provides the basis for a future or proposed agreement. It can be used in any context to record negotiations and discover, where the outline or details of the terms of the future agreement have been stipulated, but not yet the essential elements, or a target date to be reached for the final agreement. It is not necessary for the negotiations to have been completed. They may be ongoing. This letter of intent is, however, not a substitute for a contract. It is still important that you signed a legally enforced agreement before you start cooperation. Where was I? There are various types of letters of intent. Some letters of intent are merely a description of the project or business that parties want to do together, without legally binding provisions. This is just to make clear from the start what the parties are negotiating about so that there can be no confusion about this later. Other letters of intent may also contain binding provisions regarding the course of the negotiation, e.g., an exclusivity clause, a non-disclosure clause, agreement concerning the negotiations costs, agreement about the duration of the due diligence investigation, establishing a period during which parties continue negotiation, agreements regarding the compensation in which the breaking off negotiation during that specific period. Parties cannot breach these binding provisions without having to pay compensation, even though they did not sign a final agreement. The party violating the non-disclosure provision will have to pay compensation to the other party. Parties must make sure that they do not enter into a final agreement and can no longer get out of the deal when drawing up a letter of intent. So they have to be accurate about the way that the content of the letter of intent is drawn up. Even if a document is called a letter of intent, the court will still decide from the content that is in it, in fact, a binding contract. It is possible, even though parties have used the title letter of intent, that they have in fact agreed on the essentials of a contract. And for that reason, an agreement could legally have become final and both parties could be held responsible for the obligations attached to such an agreement. If it is in fact a letter of intent, there is not yet a binding agreement for the parties. Exceptions for the binding provisions such as exclusivity and non-disclosure, and they will be considered to still be in negotiation. The court will always examine the circumstances of the case. So, minus cases, but we are in the test thingy, exception 3. Ugh, my brain is just dead now. Boo. I really do not feel like working on that. Not fun. Okay, so that's done. Yay. It's accounting. Oh my goodness. I don't know what is wrong with me today, but I'm just not feeling study right now. It's like it just left. I even had my tea and I'm all happy. Let me just put that there. Gonna put this here. Okay, let's get up. Think I'm gonna motivate myself and have a frozen Pop-Tart because even though I didn't want to study, I still worked on stuff. That's really important. Reward good behavior. Don't beat yourself up for bad behavior. So let's go get some frozen Pop-Tarts and see if the children are still alive. It's starting to get dark. So, I need none of these. I need this one. Put that there. I have my frozen Pop-Tart. I'm happy. I don't know what's wrong with me today. I just cannot get my head in the game. And the sad thing is, I really need to get my head in the game because I want to do an extra hour. Maybe an extra 2 hours. Because today I should finish up the accounting flashcards. And then I should start the cases tomorrow. I should ask my friend how she's doing law because, oh my God. Numbing me. And then let's ask Ronnie. If I remember correctly, my one friend was planning to just rewatch all the classes again, which I don't know how they can do that. Because the teacher is fine. It's such, law is just such a boring subject. Oh. Mm. Mm. Let's see, is there any quick little thing that I can do? I can drink tea. Ah, man. I need some way to make law more engaging so that I can actually work through it. Because there are 11 and I'm not even done with number 2 yet. I don't know what I'm going to do with that. Oh my goodness. Oh. Need to wake up. Okay, we can mark off that we finished law. Maybe the next one becomes more engaging because this one really was not. Maybe I need to mix my courses up. That's the issue. How are they tomorrow? Maybe I'll work backwards tomorrow. start with production management, do accounting, law, and then office, and then do German, Excel, international payment procedures, and then marketing. That might be something to do. Mix it up. Well, technically, well, I don't know if that's good or bad, but 2 more days. That will be day 5. Reaching the halfway point of when I need to have things done. Maybe I should start freaking out. Swear I'm studying, it's just really not going as fast as it needs to be going. So let's start up. Yep, it's time. So 50 minutes on the clock. So we'll just put this here, and we are back at account numbers. The nice thing is we're almost done with them. We should finish them today, which means that tomorrow we have to start cases. That's the hard thing. So here we go. Just to double check. Yes. Oh, wait. Uh-oh. It's a good thing I checked that. I thought I did financial charges because I put it down, but why are these out of order? 48, 60, 61, 62, 63, 60. Okay. I marked down that I did the 65 accounts, but I didn't. Bad, Anna. Where did I stick the number? Yes, okay, so. And these are financial charges. Oh, while I'm here, because hold on, I'm gonna go to emails because my teacher okay, so I meant that you will get the resume on the exam that you can find in the course book, but some accounts are not included in that resume. For example, the 45 accounts. So these are the ones that I definitely need to know for the test. Let's mark these in red, the 45 accounts. The 55 bank accounts. And the 57 cash register accounts. So be sure to know those by heart. So let's put a little star beside these. Star equals know by heart. So technically I am sort of wasting my time by making these flashcards, but again, I'm trying to think of the long term. Because I also asked her a question about one of the 47 accounts, I think it was. Yeah, she said that's for the second semester, but it's supposed to mean bonuses and dividends. So we're going to use all these accounts in the second semester, so I'll still use the flashcards. So 65. Okay, you know what? I'm like falling asleep right now, so I think what I'm gonna do is I don't think I can actually play music without possibly violating copyright laws. So you guys get to be in silence while I will listen to music, which will hopefully wake me up because holy crap. It'll probably be loud enough that everybody can hear it because I'm so there we go. It is ridiculously loud. I'm almost done, guys. Ah, yay. Cool. Okay, we can get rid of this and we can say those are done. Which time do I have left? Okay. Completed. Flash. Cards. Okay. Yay! I am happy to have that. Okay, so we're gonna do the exercise now. Should I go over the theory because it's been a while since I have? Okay, so in which part of the balance sheet and income statement are the following items recorded? choose between fixed assets, current assets, equity, long-term debt, short-term debt, operational charges. Actually, this looks like it follows a chapter, so maybe I will review and then do the exercises, because to be perfectly honest, I don't remember. But you know what? Where can I put these? I'm gonna put these there and put these there. I need a pencil. We're gonna do some writing. So let's start with the balance sheet. Is the date. Okay. Equity. No, equity and liabilities. And I think it's that way because it's alphabetical order, if I remember correctly. No, yes, no. It's assets. And liabilities. And here you have equity, debts, long-term, short-term. And then you have fixed assets. I forget what goes in that lower part, so let's look that up. Theory book. Dear reader, blah, blah, blah. Is it debts? Current assets. Okay, so did I do that right? Yes, we had assets, liability, fixed assets. Oh, and these are current assets, equity, and these are actually amounts payable. So amounts payable. Then we have long-term, short-term. Oh, okay. So then, short-term, then suppliers. Okay, so we have fixed assets, current assets, elect charges, operating income, financial charges, or taxes. So the total wage cost of an employer goes on the amounts payable side. Okay, so value of, okay, this is current assets. Okay, let's. Hey, Dania, what's up? Accountancy. Let's go to course materials, exercises, not in class. Oh. I guess we did 1.1 and I must have missed it. Okay, so these were the things that we did in class that I just do not remember. That sucks. Because I really don't remember this. So let me send an email and bug my fellow question. In class exercises. Because I cannot remember. Because where does the operating and like income charges go? Oh, okay. It comes on the income statement. So it's like a trick question. Cool. In which of the balance sheets and income statements are the following? Okay, so trick question. All right, wow. Okay, so under operational charges, you have services and good, that. How much time? Still 10 minutes. Okay. Honestly, I am actually going to I'm going to cut off early. I know that's really horrible to do. However, I think, I don't know. I need to work on finding the answers for these. I don't know why I don't have them. That is a pain. Because I do not even know, unless I took notes. Let's check Google. Because I don't even think I took accounting notes on here. Try. Okay, I do have that. Man, I really wish that they, okay, I'm not gonna worry about it. I am going to take a break though because I'm dying. So we will say that I finished these. Just, this one doesn't have a table of contents. So let's put all this up. And what day are we on? This is day 3. Oh, like my brain is just, okay, so number 1 is introduction. Are there only 5 chapters? Maybe 6. Statement. Okay. So from this point on, how many days do I have? This is day 3. So I'm right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I would need to get through each chapter per day, and the problem is that I know I'm gonna have trouble for the last 2. Okay. I have extra time for accountancy. Start that up for tomorrow. Okay, so I'm just gonna say I'll call that done. Counting, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Oh wait, I did not put these up. we need to review the basics and troubleshoot what I'm going to do because damn. Okay, let's take a break. Okay, I'm going to walk around a bit, but also look at my cards to stress over the stuff that I have not finished. Okay. Oh, hello. Ooh. Where's my product development stuff? You know what? Let's see if we can get some social interaction. Let's see what's going on. Nothing here. I should ask. Can't even remember what I asked. My brain is that dead. I'm actually a project manager for software. That's why I asked. You asked why. Okay, I think I'm missing something. But do software managers not drink tea? Is that what that is in reference to, or did I miss a comment? I feel like I missed a comment. My brain is just, it's dead right now. Okay, what was I? Oh, okay, yeah, so I want to ask the class. Yes, I know. Okay, this copies. How do you spell copies? Copies of the accounting in class exercises from the beginning chapters. Because I can't find mine. And I don't know the answers. I asked yesterday what kind of product development you do, and you said just product development. Oh, well, no, it's a class, product development and innovation. I'm not actually in product management. I'm going into business management and entrepreneurship, and the direction that I'm going is actually publishing, so books and stuff. I decided to do a focus on business and entrepreneurship since I want to be the one writing the books. And I've stalked around the writing community for like 3 years now to know that if I go indie or if I go traditionally published, it really doesn't matter. I'm going to have to be able to market myself. I'm going to have to be able to manage my own finances. I'm going to have to essentially do everything that the publisher used to do, I feel like 50 or 20 years ago. And I don't know how to do like the business side of things. So I figured might as well go to school and learn it. Plus having the special piece of paper will certainly open doors for me, specifically in Belgium, so that if it all goes down in flames and doesn't work, maybe I can go into teaching or something. Okay, I need my product development stuff. What are you? Oh, this is Excel. This is product development and innovation. And this is like the only class I'm on time with, sort of. Which is funny because, oh wait, no, I did 2 hours yesterday, I think. Did I do 2 hours? I feel like I didn't. Man, the days are starting to just merge together. Are you doing an undergraduate or graduate degree? It's a bachelor's. I think that's considered an undergraduate. I don't remember. Yeah, I'm not going for my master's. Like, no. I have lots of respect for people who do, though, but that kind of dedication where you do stuff that involves having to write a thesis, I'm already freaking out because we have the creative business project that we have to do in our 3rd year, and it just seems like a lot of work. And that's on top of having to do classes, so doesn't seem like fun. So let me see. I need to find, what do I need to find? We need to go to Toledo, guys. Yeah, I get that. But I'm also particularly lazy. That's like, I was freaking out before the study block thinking there's no way that I'm going to be able to pass any of the tests. And even though I'm studying and doing everything that I need to do, and there's still time, I still feel like there's no way I can get through all this information and remember it. And I'm freaking out because it's like, I'm not getting through the stuff as quickly as I anticipated, and there's not extra time. Not Twitter, Toledo. I'm in product development and innovation, which is what we're going to be studying now. I finished chapter 2 according to my notes. So let's go to that. Maybe I already, no, I didn't. We need to find lesson 3. Your husband still left you. Haha, I cracked laughing whenever I remember that story. That was a long time ago. Yeah, that's 3 years ago now, I think, that I made that video. Things were so much easier back then. I wasn't in school. I think this is a case. Is this a case? Hold on. Let's go to downloads. These will be cases that you need to read. Cases. Is this a case? Yes, it is. So let's download that in the nifty file cases so that I remember to eventually read those. Save. So that's the case study. And I think these are the slides. So let's download these. Well, I'm glad that you found me. You should, what's the word that I'm looking for? Binge watch all my content. I'm biased, obviously, but it's awesome. And have you been to Antwerp? Yes, I have. Actually went there, because that's where all the diamonds are. I went there with my husband, and that's where he got my ring, which I don't wear because I'm paranoid people will steal it. I'm thinking to visit Antwerp or Amsterdam with my friends this summer for a work vacation. Okay, work vacation is an oxymoron because you're either on vacation or you're working. But how does that work? Work vacation. Yeah, but you do know that like Amsterdam and Antwerp, they're 2 different countries. Antwerp will be better because, you know, Belgium, and I'm biased, and Amsterdam is not as cool because it's the Netherlands, and boo, the Netherlands. They have funny accents. Lesson 3. I'm all willing to make fun of the Dutch because, well, first of all, they're not here. And second of all, they make fun of me sometimes for like living in Belgium. And they make all these jokes. And because I'm not Belgian, I don't get them. Workstation is like working minimum hours and exploring more of the city. Okay. I've never really done that. But then I don't find that kind of thing fun. Like Prince Charming loves that. He loves to go out and explore. I don't. Like exploring for me is the fact that I moved to Belgium. And I have such regrets about that because I think back to the time that I lived in Kortrijk and there were so many things that I didn't go see, and now it's just too far away. And we live in this new city, which there's all this stuff that I could go see, but I don't because I'm comfortable at home. Also, I'm busy because It's the study block. Okie dokie. So I have all my notes ready. We're going to start lesson 3. We need the black pen. And we can get rid of this and this. Just one more hour and then, yeah, there's going to be another study session tonight because I really need to get caught up on marketing. And I don't even know if I'm going to be able to get caught up because everybody has been complaining that it's a nightmare. Okay, have fun with whatever you're doing. I'll be here studying. It's fun. I lost my slides. Where did they go? Boo. Oh, okay. How many are there? Please don't be that many. It doesn't look like there are that many. There's 44. Okay. So we are starting with, I think I'm gonna need more. I go through all of them. I'm definitely not gonna have enough flashcards. I'm gonna have to buy more. I only have like 4 packets left. No, 3. That sucks. Yeah, this is the tea that I made, and it wasn't good. So instead, I made new tea, and I dumped the old tea because it wasn't good. I didn't just drink tea. I made the tea so that I'd be willing to study. It's my little bribe. Otherwise, I wouldn't study. And I can bribe myself with tea because I'm simple that way. Okie dokie. So we are starting on part 4, which product portfolio decisions to be taken in product management. Product decisions at 3 crucial levels. Let's just copy that down because why the heck not? I don't like heavily flavored teas. They taste too artificial. I like chai, mint, and lemon ginger teas. And peppermint, but that's still a mint tea. It's just a different kind of mint. Anything else I really don't like. Or anything that has cinnamon. Oh yeah, I grow my own mint. I am nuts that way. So far in our new garden, I have 2 varieties of mint. I have peppermint and spearmint. And I have a list of mints that I'm trying to get from the local garden place. Yeah, I love mint. So product decisions. I cannot spell. IOM. Did I start the timer? Yes, I did. At 3 crucial levels. It's also great to meet a fellow mint lover. I'm assuming you love mint because you have plants. Level, so individual. So 1 is individual. Product level. 2, product lines. And 3, assortments. Product range. Next slide. Okay, decisions at individual product levels. Hello, Jaslyn, what's up? Individual products and service decisions, 5 typical decisions to be taken for each respective product in the assortment ABCDE, which is product attributes, branding, packaging, labeling and logos, and product support services. So, wait. Oh, okay, so this is decisions at individual product level. So, how are you tonight, Jaslyn? I mean, it's night. It's getting night here. It's getting dark. I need the light on because I won't be able to see. Dual product level. Okay, so the goal, focus, so one is product attributes. Two is branding. Three is packaging. Four is labeling and logos. And I just moved to Belgium from Singapore, so it's so exciting to find your channel. It's kind of strange for me that the sun sets so early in winter. Well, I'm glad that you're in Belgium. That's awesome. Well, first off, where are you in Belgium? You don't need to give me specifics, obviously, just a general Dutch side, French side, left side, right side, and product support and services. It's always fun to find people who are going on, we're going to say, journeys, because I think that's the fun part of life. Oh my goodness, he's going to break these up into every single little thing. Okay. So I think that's fun, sharing experiences. Is quality. Two is features of the product. And 3 is styles and or industrial. I swear, English is my native tongue. Style and or industrial design. Oh my God. Okay, so what is quality? Is there just a definition? I'm in East Flanders, and yes, it's definitely cool to find people with similar experiences as you. Oh, that's so cool that you're in East Flanders. I live in West Flanders, but my husband, who is the Belgian, his family is from East Flanders, in and around Ghent. So I know the area a little bit, not an expert. Okay, so we're just going to say quality is when customers come back and products don't, because I like that. What is quality? It's when customers come back. That's so cool. I hope to visit Ghent when the COVID situation is better. There are a lot of places that I want to go to once COVID is gone myself. I will say though that COVID and doing school online has been interesting because I'm saving so much gas money and I get to sleep in. So I know that there are cons to doing school online, but you know, it's been such an interesting year that I think you have to take the wins where you can get them. Quality can be defined narrow or in a very broad sense. Quality is in marketing a major positive tool in the market. Does a company want to be a premium in the market or rather a price fighter? It can be related to both product quality and service quality. If it has two key elements in its definition, quality conformance or quality consistence. Levels of quality. Okay, so we have to do levels. There's too much stuff. Product quality refers to the characteristics of a product or services that bear on its ability to satisfy stated or implied customer needs. Level of quality. Refers to characteristics of a product or service that bear I'm gonna go walk my dog. All the best to your studies. It was nice chatting with you. Thank you for stopping by. It's really nice to have people chat. Normally it's other students who should be studying and aren't studying. Have fun with your dog. What's your dog's name? I like dogs. I have 2 dogs, but they had to stay back and live with my mom. It's too difficult to bring animals overseas. Plus, since we go and visit people all the time, it's just it's inconceivable. The poor doggies. Ability to satisfy. Two. Stated or implied customer needs. Consistency of quality. Quality versus consumer satisfaction. It's all about managing expectations, and moreover, it's about delighting the customer. Hello, Thymer, what's up? How are you today? Tonight. It's getting dark, so it's tonight. TQM. What is TQM? TQM. Total quality management. So, looks like you're Belgian with all the beers. Well, I do live in Belgium, so, and I think with the exception of 2, they're all Belgian beers. Okay, so total quality management key components. Total quality management. Key components. Okay, so it's 1. Thank you. My dog's name is Dan, and he's an ex-street dog from Thailand, and he's such a sweet and calm dog. We adopted him and had to fly him over here. That must have been a pain. Like, that's amazing that you were able to rescue him from the streets and that you did bring him over, but I can say from experience that that is a pain. But also, the dogs are much happier at my mom's because she's retired. 1. Q. Planning. 2. Q. Assurance. Q. Control. And 4. Continuous improvement. These quality standards are often implemented via the ISO standard. I guess we're not going to talk about the ISO standard. Maybe we covered that and I'm just, not remembering. Okay, quality is the responsibility of each employee in the organization/firm. Importance of internal marketing, employing Employment manager and internal communications. Okay, cool. I probably need to watch these videos. Let's watch some commercials, guys. Yeah. Yeah, okay, yeah. I remember this. So that was the people doing crap. I think that's the Portugal one. Did we watch this one? Is it in Portuguese? Okay, so basically, if you're an employer, you want to have expensive retreats for your employees because then they'll like you more. Some background. Ooh.
Hi there. In this business topic video, let's introduce the concept of quality.
Okay.
Firstly, what do we mean by quality? Well, a great definition is that a product or service is of good quality if it meets the needs and expectations of the customer.
Cool.
That's a really important definition because quality essentially is defined by the customer and judged by the customer based on his or her needs and expectations of the product or service. So really importantly, from a business point of view, quality is all about how the customer perceives the product, not how the business might perceive its own products. And to achieve quality, you need to meet needs and expectations such as performance. Does the product do what it needs to do? Is it fit for purpose? How does it appear? How reliable is it? How durable is it? Is it available to buy? And also, of course, price. Is the price consistent with all of those other needs and expectations? Does it represent value for money? If a product or service can meet as many of those, or ideally all of those needs and expectations, then it will be deemed by customers to be a quality product. If it doesn't, then in some respect, it's poor quality, it's substandard.
Ooh.
Now, of course, there are various different measures of quality. Some of them are tangible, can be measured, and some of them are intangible, hard to measure, but you kind of know when you see them. Some good examples of tangible, i.e. measurable quality are firstly factors such as reliability. Does the product break down? Does it stop working after a while? Does it ever work? Or does it go on working well forever without ever needing maintenance or repair? Does it have all the functions and features that it says it has and that the product needs? Is there a strong level of support? Is it built to the right kind of standards? And also a tangible measure of quality is what is the overall cost of ownership? Don't forget, when you buy a product, it's not just the price that you pay for the product, it's also the cost of ownership. For example, maintenance or repairs, insurance. You can look at the overall cost to the consumer as part of a tangible measure of quality. But of course, on the right-hand side there are some really important intangible, judgmental or qualitative measures of quality. For example, exclusiveness. Is this a product that's really hard to get hold of or priced in such a way that most of us can't afford? Does this product have a high market reputation, perhaps measured by the many online systems for measuring customer feedback, such as TripAdvisor? Does the product have a strong brand image, strong brand awareness, and customer reputation? The reason why quality is important, and when you come to studying quality control and quality assurance, the reason why it's important is that increasingly markets are becoming more and more competitive. And it's no longer really enough to compete purely on the basis of low cost. Quality is often now the defining differentiator between one product being successful and another product being successful. Customers are much better informed, they're more demanding, they're more knowledgeable about the options, particularly because of online information services. They're able to share, for example, via social media, information about substandard products and services. On the flip side, though, on a positive note, a business can develop its reputation that alone can be a source of competitive advantage over the rest of the market. And here's a great line of analysis that helps explain, perhaps in an exam answer, the business benefits of achieving higher quality, or even better, industry-leading quality. High quality leads to a satisfied customer. A satisfied customer is more likely to come back and buy again from you. In other words, to repeat purchase. But they're also likely to recommend your product or service to their friends and family or acquaintances, or perhaps to leave a positive review on a social media site. A result of having greater customer recommendation is that you don't have to spend so much promoting the business, promoting the product. So your lower marketing costs may be a business benefit of quality. And of course, the key here is that satisfied customers who come back again and again are more loyal customers. Therefore, there's less need to keep on trying to recruit them through marketing. Quality is therefore very closely linked to a key business concept at A-level and IB called competitiveness. How does a business compete? How does it differentiate itself in the market? How does it position itself in the market? And competitiveness is the advantage that it has over the other alternative products and services. Quality can be a source of differentiation and therefore competitiveness. If you think about it, you could probably name a whole bunch of businesses that try to use quality as a key source of competitiveness, as an advantage over the others in the market. Apple very clearly positions itself as being the highest quality provider of laptops and smartphones and tablets. Waitrose in the supermarket business very much positions itself as being at the upper end, the top end, the quality end of the supermarket chain. And I'm sure you can come up with lots of other brands and businesses that try to compete essentially on quality. Of course, they have an eye to price, but essentially they're trying to compete on high quality. But of course, quality is not just about the product. So here's another important consideration as you think about how quality is assured or managed or controlled. Quality is about the product, but it's also about the whole customer experience. It's about how easy it is to buy or consume a service or product, how reliable it is, what kind of service that you get post-purchase, what kind of after-sales service. Quality is therefore very closely linked, not just with competitiveness, but also with another important concept that you'll study, particularly in operations management, customer service. You think about how you might judge the quality of the next meal you have out, maybe a night out with a family or with some friends. You go out to the restaurant, you'll be judging the quality of the experience, not just on what's presented on the plate, what you end up eating and drinking, but of course the quality, the attentiveness of the service, the presentation and style and choice of the food in the menu, but also the overall experience, the ambiance of the restaurant, and whether you have a good time. That's how you judge quality, very closely linked to the customer service experience. And of course, you can think of a lot of businesses that are predominantly involved in the service sector who've recognized that actually quality of customer service is a key differentiator. And in particular, what they try to do is to develop a consistent approach. So wherever you go, you get the same level of high quality of customer service. Premier Inn being a great example of that. There we go, guys. That's in a separate video. We're going to take a look at the concept of quality control and quality assurance. But for now, that's just been a brief introduction to the idea of quality.
You can manage your kids' work easily with Monday.com. Just go to Monday.com.
Hey Rebels, welcome back to my another video. Today's video is going to be on total quality management. So let's start today's video. Quality refers to a parameter which decides the superiority or inferiority of a product or service. Quality can be defined as an attribute which differentiates a product or services from its competitors. Quality plays an essential role in every business Business marketers need to emphasize on quality of their brands over quantity to survive the cutthroat competition of the market. Have you ever thought, why would a customer come to you if your competitor is also offering the same product? The difference here can only be quality. Your brand products needs to be superior among all the competitors present in the market so that customer can trust on your product and can get attracted toward what you are offering to them. Total quality management is defined as a continuous effort by the management as well as employees of a particular organization to ensure long-term customer loyalty and customer satisfaction. Remember, one happy and satisfied customer brings 10 new customers with him, whereas one disappointed individual will spread bad words about your product and spoil several of your existing as well as potential customers in the market. Hence, it is very important that you provide something extra to your customers to expect loyalty in return. Quality of a product can be measured in terms of its durability, reliability, uses, and so on. Total quality management is a structured effort by employers to continuously improve the quality of their products and services through proper feedbacks and research. Ensuring superior quality of a product or service is not the responsibility of a single member. Here, a joint effort of management, staff member, workforce, suppliers in order to meet and exceed customer satisfaction level is required. Total quality management ensures that every single employee is working toward the improvement of work culture, processes, services, systems, and so on to ensure long-term success. Total quality management can be divided into 4 categories: plan, do, check, and finally act. Here's the first step: planning. This phase is the most crucial phase of total quality management. In this phase, employees have to come up with their problems and queries, which needs to be addressed. They need to come up with the various challenges they face in their day-to-day operations and also analyze the problems from the root. Employees are required to do necessary research and collect relevant data which would help them to find solutions to all their problems. Doing. In the doing phase, employees develop a solution for the problems defined in plan.
In previous videos, we've talked about things like the words that you use to describe your business. But you have to respect that you might have a business name and you might have a portfolio of services, but you might actually name them. Like you might actually decide that it's not just one company. We make many things, right? A really simple example of this is what Apple does. They don't just say everything is Apple. There's Apple, and then they have the iPhone product line, which has multiple variations, or the iPod, right? iPod, it's been around a long time. There's hundreds of iterations, colors and shapes. There was the U2 iPod, Shuffle, multiple colors, right? But because they've got a master brand called Apple and a sub-brand called iPod, and then they have multiple versions of it, it makes it very easy for you and I to have this conversation. That science, that architectural structure that defines how these products and services are related to one another is actually called brand architecture. It's the way in which you manage what products and services you provide, so it makes it as easy as possible for people to understand that, oh, it's not about Microsoft Word or Microsoft Photoshop, it's about Microsoft Office. It's not about Adobe Photoshop, Adobe Illustrator, and Adobe InDesign. It's about Adobe Creative Suite. It simplifies the related products and services so that consumers can build a relationship with multiple things at the same time. And brand architecture is simply the mapping of what your intentions are. How many products and services are you going to offer? How are they related to one another? How are they not related, right? BMW owns Mini. They intentionally keep them separate, right? The Mini owner wants to drive a Mini. The BMW owner wants to drive BMWs. And if you even look at the BMW brand architecture, you'll notice that it's not just BMW, right? There's the 3 Series, the 5 Series, the 7 Series. You see how they've created like an alphanumeric system to make it as easy as possible for you to understand what model is right for you, how to upgrade. How do you represent your personal character? Well, I am sporty and young. I'm going to drive a 3 Series, right? You get that context. Well, that framing of those products and services makes them easier for people to find, buy, and then ultimately advocate for. Like literally explain it to their friends and say, I bought the M5 because, right? And that makes people more proud of their associations and they tend to upgrade faster. So again, we call that brand architecture, the way in which you manage your portfolio of brand assets so that they feel related to one another, so that consumers can make the easiest choice possible, be proud of what they've chosen, and know exactly how to sustain their relationship.
Okay, so guys, I want to thank you for joining me. I'm going to cut this a bit short because I need a break. I really do. So I'm going to go start dinner and I will be back at 8 for a third session. There will be no beer review. We are going to be studying, which I will make up the 15 minutes that I'm cutting off early here, and then we will do another session for Introduction to Marketing. So I will see you guys a little bit later. Tot ziens, my appelziens.